Hi, my name is Courtney, and I'm very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a pretty healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one you had envisioned for yourself, but time marches on. It ain't going to wait for you. And then trust me, you don't want to get 5, 10 years down the road and realize I should have done something about this. I can't believe it's almost Thanksgiving already. It's so crazy. First, I got to tell you guys, I am feeling so much freaking better being in Texas. I told my pastor in Alaska that unfortunately I'm collecting health conditions that are not conducive to the Alaskan environment. But I know it's not a cure-all. It hasn't solved all of my problems by any stretch, but I feel so much freaking better down here. It's just crazy in a really good way. But a lot of us a lot of us deal with social anxiety, and people are surprised to hear me say that because I'm really, really outgoing and I can generally start a conversation with anybody anywhere. But sometimes I get in my own head, and when I do, I get social anxiety. You know what social anxiety is? This information, by the way, is from psychcentral.com. We get social anxiety when we project our opinion of ourselves onto other people. We assume that people around us are judging us as harshly as we judge ourselves. But you know what? They don't do that very often. You're usually your own worst critic, but it is a problem. So let's talk about how to deal with it. Thanksgiving's looming, right? And it can be, I know it can be really, I'm so fortunate. I'm not saying my family's perfect, but I never had any problems like this going to family events. Although with my family, we're a big family, there was always lots of other people around. Um, so if you didn't get along with somebody, it was really easy to go find somebody else to talk to. But how do you deal with it? Well, first of all, you can't have any expectations. I used to be friends with this woman. Oh no, I found something to fidget with. I need to move that. I used to be friends with this woman who put so much pressure on herself to have the perfect Thanksgiving. Well, guess what? There is no such thing. Perfection only exists in movies and magazines. Your holiday is not going to be perfect. You need to let go of that idea completely and just take the day as it comes. Now, conversely, don't go into it with a negative attitude. Why? Because that's self-fulfilling. If you walk through the door of your family, well, any gathering, whether it's holiday or not, and your attitude is, oh my gosh, this is going to suck and everybody's going to be nasty and hateful, well, guess what? That's what you're going to find because that's what you're looking for. It's just the way it is. So don't go into it with any expectation. Just try to accept things as they come. And remember, this is just one night or one afternoon, depending on what time you guys get together. Number two, you need to remember you're going to be just fine. You are going to be fine. Again, this is a few hours out of your life. It's one evening, it's one afternoon. It honestly has very little impact on who you are as a person. Even if you do something really stupid and embarrass the hell out of yourself, well, guess what? You'll get over it. Honestly, you'll get over it. We all do stupid things sometimes. And everybody that sees you act like a fool, they've all done stupid things too. Give yourself a little bit of grace. Um, oh, I can't read my notes. That's funny. If you're going to an event that you're uneasy about, just set a time limit. Tell yourself, okay, 90 minutes and I'm out the door. And then when that 90 minutes is up, or maybe it's an hour, whatever you have to do, don't be a jerk and go for 15 minutes, okay? But set your time limit. And then when that time limit has come, you've met your obligation, thank the host or hostess and leave. That's it. You don't have to make an issue out of it. Number three, you need to understand most people aren't that worried about you. Most people are so caught up in their own nonsense. They're not. What's that saying about if you knew how little other people really thought about you, you'd truly be offended? It's true. Most people, they're caught up in their own lives. They don't have time to worry about you that much. They really don't. Maybe maybe you have an uncle he's just an ass and you know he's going to be a blowhard and a jerk because he always is. Well, okay. What good is it going to do you to walk into the event upset about that? None. Limit your interactions with him. If he tries to come up and talk to you, just turn around and excuse yourself. Don't be a jerk, because that's just playing into it. Excuse yourself and go do something else. And you know what you can always go do? You can always go do the dishes. Whoever is hosting that party will be so grateful to you if you go in and do the dishes. And I can almost guarantee your crappy uncle's not going to follow you in there to berate you. I guess if he does, just go into the bathroom for a little bit. But you do need to remember that other people's opinions of you, whether they're family or not, they only carry as much weight as you choose to give it. At the end of the day, the only opinion you really need to worry about is your own. Well, and God's, if you're that kind of person, which I am, but you don't need to worry about what your uncle or your brother or your cousin, you don't need to worry about what any of those people think of you, because you can't control it. So why worry about it? Number 4, you need to give your inner critic the night off. That is the only time I will get social anxiety, is if I allow myself to get it. For whatever reason, if I get into my own head before I walk through the door, I have a hard time. I really do. That inner voice, it lies to you. Our inner critic is so hyperbolic. Everything is so dramatic and so drastic and so exaggerated. And deep down that it's just a bunch of BS. Give your inner bitch the night off and just try to enjoy yourself. Number 5, don't play into the toxic behavior. Just because somebody tries to drag you into melodrama, you don't have to play. You don't have to play along. Excuse yourself. Hey, sorry, I need to go talk to so-and-so. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go help with the dishes. There's so many things you can do. You've got to remember that how other people treat you, it has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. It has everything to do with them and how they view their place in the world. And frankly, the people who feel small and insignificant, those are the ones who are going to try to tear you down. When I have to, thankfully, I don't have any family that's really like that. But if I have to deal with people like that, I try to remind myself that they must not have a very good opinion of themselves, or they wouldn't feel the need to try to pull me down. And it allows me to deal with them with a lot more empathy. And I can offer them a lot more grace than I'm really inclined to do. Because my nature is, nobody wants to put up with that. We all just want to tell them off. But why add to the drama? Let them be a jackass on their own. They're going to look so much worse if you don't play into it. Number 6, let it go. You have to let it go. You cannot control what other people are going to say or do, obviously. But we can learn how to control how we choose to respond. And I always like to use respond instead of react, because to me, this is just my very humble opinion, but a reaction is that initial, oh, you son of a, I'm so mad at you. I'm not saying that's not a justified feeling, but you don't need to go down that road. Take a deep breath. That'll give you enough emotional space. I know this sounds kind of silly, but you can take an emotional step back. Okay, Uncle Bob is a horse's ass, but I'm not going to play into this. And you know what? You can always set boundaries. If somebody wants to discuss something that you don't want to talk about, just smile very politely and say, you know what? This really isn't the time or place for this conversation, and I'm not going to discuss this with you. And just walk away from them. It's really that simple. It's not, if you've never set boundaries and enforced them, it's going to be harder than hell for you. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But it really is as simple as just telling them this is not appropriate and I'm not doing this. That's all there is to it. Finally, here's a bonus. Here's a conversation starter. Because I don't know about you, but usually at my family gatherings, there's at least one person there. Well, at least there used to be. And they, admittedly, as the families shrunk, our gatherings have gotten smaller. But there's almost always somebody there that I don't know very well. Hey, how you doing? You look really nice today. Hey, that dish you brought, it was so good. Can I get the recipe? If you can pay somebody, even if it's somebody that you know, if you can pay somebody a sincere compliment, first of all, hello, that's a tremendous icebreaker. Second of all, it automatically makes you more likable. We all like people who like us. We all like to be acknowledged. So just pay somebody a sincere compliment. It'll take a lot of the pressure off of you. It gets any focus off of you and onto the other person. And again, remember, it's just an hour or two or a couple more, but it's one evening, it's one afternoon. It's not going to have any impact on who you are as a human being. That's all I have for today. I don't remember what I was going to say. I really am feeling so much better. And it's kind of funny because I started feeling crappy this afternoon and I got really, gosh, damn it. But I can't complain because even this feeling crappy, I feel a lot worse than I did this morning, but I still feel a hell of a lot better than I usually feel when I'm dealing with the cold in Alaska. And one of my coworkers told me that it's supposed to get, are y'all ready for this? It's supposed to get 27 degrees below zero in my hometown tonight. Gee, Court, do you miss Alaska? Nope, I certainly don't. I went out this morning and went for a walk in a t-shirt. Well, and pants, of course. But I didn't need a coat. I didn't need gloves. I didn't need ice cleats. I didn't need any of that crap. I just simply went for a walk. And for me, that is a really incredible thing. I mean, gosh, Thanksgiving is literally right around the corner. And that probably doesn't make sense to anybody who didn't grow up in the subarctic, but trust me, it's a big deal. Anyway, that is all I have. I will be back at some point Wednesday. I obviously have not found a settled filming schedule. It's my job. I'm still learning my job. I'm very new at it still. So everything's still kind of up in the air and I get pulled into a lot of meetings, which I'm not complaining about. The new job freaking rocks. My colleagues are so amazing and I'm really happy. But I haven't hit my stride yet. So I will be back Wednesday.